The starting version will be on the floor, and the full version will be with an inclined bench. Your legs will be about a 90-degree angle. Then you're gonna get in a push-up position, thinking that your knee is the midline of your body, trying to keep the chest up. You're gonna lower down, and you'll use the assistance of your hands, but you're gonna put in tension on your piriformis. It's a muscle on the outside of your hip. Piriformis, it's a pear-shaped muscle. That's the significance of the word. And you're gonna think as if your knee is pushing down into the ground to push yourself back up. When that's easy, you'll go to one hand. If that's actually tough to get into, like if you're really stiff, elevating the hip, here's a towel to elevate, elevating the hip a bit actually makes it easier to get into. Now, this is just a starting version. I think this alone is good for general life, to be pretty mobile and strong in those positions. I know for myself and a lot of others, we stopped resting in deep squat positions, in mobile knee positions. Like when we were kids in school, we started sitting in chairs way too soon. We get stiff out there. This muscle on the outside happens to be in between your legs and back as a nerve goes through. So sometimes people reach out and they have like a back flare up, and I tell them, not like medically, but just you can see what a safe position this is to just get some motion going and start stretching, and often they're able to alleviate the flare up because that is a limiter of that nerve going through there. So I do this for the lower back, general lower back health. You could imagine if this is so stiff, look what happens to the back. We want the hips mobile so the back has freedom to move. But I also do this for the knee. I had a chronic dislocation disease in the outside here. It's called tibiofibular dislocation, tibia and fibia, lower bones down here. So it feels like your knee pops out of place. It's kind of muscles towards the outside of the knee. No doctor I went to was able to diagnose it. There's chat boards online. Thousands of people have been given meniscus surgery for this. They have the surgery, it still keeps popping out because that wasn't the issue. It was this dislocation disease. So it's rarely talked about or educated on, but affects actually a lot of people. I've even seen advanced gymnast types getting into different positions where they're in an extreme stretch and having it pop out. And sometimes they post online because they don't know what happened. So the incline bench now pins that outside of the knee down. So by having that pinned down, you can now stretch out here, and notice, let's look at my back leg here. You're actually under some load, like it takes some strength. Someone usually really stiff in here has gotten really weak from not being in these positions, and they'll need to start with their hands down. Then be able to support your body. Then get a little good morning action into it, where you stretch here, and as you come out, pushing with that knee, gonna even lift up a bit. So my glute is now higher, stretch down. So this little twist compared to a stretch where the knee is open. So something like this leaves it more vulnerable. Pinning it down, you now way reduce the chance of that popping out. And in general, what you're doing is you're reducing just the strain on it, and you're increasing the stretch on the very muscles that you need to open up so it stops popping out. So for the knee to glide smoothly, these hips out here actually have to be able to stretch to some degree, but this gives us a way to stretch them and load them. And when you stretch, when you get stronger through a stretch position, the body tends to hold on to that flexibility more. So this is simply a more optimal way to open up those piriformis muscles with less chance of something happening in the process. So I'm very grateful for these. The standard in this case is actually just the ability to go head to foot without pain or strain. Now, you would test that only when this is feeling easy and you're even like checking different positions, like it should happen naturally. Boom, there, push. Because there's nothing wrong with working on different angles in here. The head to foot just gives a good measurement. But the idea is to be strong in that head to foot position. So the idea is that we can go head to foot, but actually push with those outer hip muscles. So for me, this is something that would have been totally impossible and totally scary for my knees. Now not scary at all, way more freedom for the knees and the lower back, thanks to a step-by-step method. This is a $110 bench off Amazon. You can start this on the floor. Standards program, 20 different things for the whole body. Some may be easier or harder for you. We have Monday lower body, Tuesday upper body, Wednesday, today is when I'm filming this, flexibility. And now that way, Thursday, Friday, you can even put in more work. I mean, you could rest, you could do activities if you're choosing, but you also now have some time to work on areas that either were weaker for you or that based on your goals, you want to get even better at. We deliver this through our own app created by original ATG members so that you can send in your form with the most ease of any fitness apps out there. We answer your questions, coach your form videos under 24 hours, 7 days a week, $49.50 a month, no long-term contract. It's the lowest price out there for that service. So thank you to everyone who has made this possible. Thank you for learning this unusual stuff, spreading it around. Hopefully now if you hear of someone with this knee thing popping out on the side, you can share this video with them. I would of course also advise strengthening and stretching the full range of motion strengthening for the tibialis and the calves and the ATG split squat and even flossing. All these things have been really helpful for me, but this is the one that allowed me to hit that sticking point of, okay, I'm scared for it to pop out when I'm in these kind of positions, but then to stretch, I have to be risky, and you can feel it getting maybe sore here. And so it's like, how do you, because it's tight, it pops out, but to try to get it to loosen up, now you risk it popping out. It's kind of a nightmare. So hopefully this solves it for someone out there. See ya.